Welcome to this explainer. Today we're zooming in on a guy who honestly needs zero introduction, but we're going to give him one anyway. Cristiano Ronaldo. Whether you bleed your club's colors or you literally only watch football during the World Cup, you know exactly who he is. We're going to map out the data, the timeline, and this sheer relentless work ethic that took a kid from a tiny Portuguese island and turned him into an absolute titan of global sports. We'll look at how his career evolved and his crazy longevity. Let's get right into it.
I want to kick things off by just throwing a single number at you. Ready? 5. That is the number of Ballon d'Or awards Cristiano Ronaldo has taken home, meaning 5 separate times he was voted the absolute best football player on the entire planet. But you know, that number, it's just the tip of the iceberg. Combine those 5 golden footballs with his hundreds of millions of social media followers, and you're looking at one of the most followed human beings on Earth. He isn't just an athlete anymore, he's a pop culture phenomenon. But to really grasp how wild this success is, we have to rewind to where the whole climb started.
Section 1. The Boy from Madeira.
Every massive superhero story starts somewhere, right? Back in 1985, Ronaldo was born into a super modest family in Funchal, Madeira. Fun fact, he was actually named after the former US President Ronald Reagan, who was his dad's favorite actor. His father worked as a gardener and a kitman, and his mother was a cook and a cleaner just to keep the family afloat. Contrast that with today, where he runs a global business empire and is literally one of the highest-paid athletes ever. To make that jump, he had to leave his family at just 12 years old, moving all alone to Lisbon to join the Sporting CP Academy. That sacrifice was massive, but man, the whole journey almost ended before it even really began.
This right here is a totally crucial piece of the puzzle that often gets completely overshadowed by his modern-day invincibility. At just 15 years old, Ronaldo was diagnosed with tachycardia. Essentially, it's a condition that causes a dangerously fast resting heart rate. It was a serious medical roadblock that could have easily, and I mean easily, ended his football dreams right there on the spot. But instead, he has heart surgery, recovers at lightning speed, and is back out on the pitch in almost no time. That unyielding, totally relentless determination, yeah, that was wired into him from day one.
Moving on to Section 2, Conquering Club Football. It's almost like every single club move he made was him just looking for a harder boss battle. In 2002, he makes his pro debut at Sporting CP at just 17. A year later, he plays this preseason friendly that absolutely dazzles Manchester United, so they snatch up the 18-year-old in 2003. He completely dominates England, and then in 2009, boom, a blockbuster world record transfer to Real Madrid. 9 years pass, he conquers Spain, and in 2018 he heads off to Italy to join Juventus. By 2021, we get the highly emotional return to Man United, where he actually finishes as their top scorer in his first season back. And then finally, in 2023, he takes his talents over to Saudi Arabia with Al Nassr. He didn't just sit comfortably in one league, he systematically took over Europe and then expanded into Asia.
And when I say he conquered them, I mean he really conquered them. Just look at the sheer amount of hardware he dragged into these massive clubs. At Man United, 3 Premier League titles and his very first Champions League trophy, plus a bunch of domestic cups. Then he gets to Real Madrid, and the Champions League numbers just explode. We're talking 4 Champions League titles and 2 La Liga titles. Then he hops over to Juventus and instantly helps them bag 2 Serie A titles, an Italian Cup, and a Super Cup. Basically, he brought major domestic and international trophies everywhere he unpacked his bags, proving his whole methodology works in entirely different footballing cultures.
But hey, if we are going to talk about his time at Real Madrid, we absolutely have to isolate this one, frankly absurd statistic. 450. Cristiano Ronaldo scored 450 goals for Real Madrid. But here is the truly mind-blowing part. He did that in just 438 appearances. Let that sink in for a second. That is more than a goal a game, on average, for nearly a decade, at the absolute highest possible level of club football. Actually, it's just insane to even say out loud. He became Real Madrid's all-time leading scorer and cemented a strike rate that just totally shatters modern football logic.
Section 3. Glory for Portugal. For all the clubs he's completely transformed, leading his national team is arguably his ultimate point of pride. He's been playing for Portugal since 2003, and his list of records is just staggering. He isn't just Portugal's all-time leading scorer. No, he is men's international football's all-time top scorer across the entire globe. He holds the absolute record for international appearances. He literally put the team on his back to win UEFA Euro 2016, and then again for the 2019 Nations League finals. And maybe the craziest stat of all, he made history as the very first men's player to score in 6 different FIFA World Cups. It's a level of sustained international excellence we've literally never seen before.
Section 4. The Ultimate Athlete. So, How does a single human body withstand the grueling, bone-crunching demands of elite football for over 2 decades without just falling apart? Well, Ronaldo didn't just rely on raw talent. He basically built himself into a complete, unstoppable footballing machine. You've got explosive pace to just torch defenders, powerful shooting from literally any range, outstanding heading ability. I mean, his vertical leap is straight out of a video game. Add to that his overall sheer athleticism, his absolute deadly precision with free kicks, and that ice-cold penalty finishing. He engineered his body and his skill set so there were absolutely zero weak points for an opponent to exploit.
The secret sauce to all of this comes down to one word: longevity. It's this completely unmatched commitment to fitness that has allowed him to keep scoring at a remarkable rate well into his 40s. While most forwards peak in their late 20s, maybe early 30s, and retire shortly after, Ronaldo's relentless work ethic effectively broke the normal aging curve of an athlete. His body is a walking testament to intense discipline.
Section 5. Beyond the pitch.
Okay, so how do you leverage being the greatest athlete in the world into lasting generational success outside of the sport? Simple. You build an empire. Ronaldo has diversified his brand, CR7, way beyond your typical athlete endorsements. We're talking about his own lines of clothing, footwear, and fragrances. He's moved heavily into the hotel industry with a chain of CR7 hotels. He's capitalized on his ultimate athlete status by opening fitness centers and pouring investments into the health and wellness space. This superstructured business portfolio is exactly why he is glued to the very top of the world's highest-paid athletes list. Yet behind the global brand, behind the billion-dollar businesses, and the relentless goal scoring, there's a really solid personal anchor. He's supported by his partner Georgina Rodriguez and his kids, Cristiano Jr., Eva, Mateo, Alana Martina, and Bella Esmeralda. Together, they're actively building this family legacy that runs perfectly parallel to his sporting empire. It's just a great reminder that even the most driven, hyper-competitive individuals in the world rely on a solid foundation at home.
And that brings us right up to the present day. As of 2026, Cristiano Ronaldo is still incredibly active. He's out there on the pitch, still competing, still finding the back of the net, and continuing to add chapters to a legacy that's already cemented as one of the greatest in the history of the sport. His story, amazingly enough, is still being written right in front of us.
Which leaves us with this final, kind of provocative thought to consider. Look at the sheer breadth of what we've covered in this explainer today. From the childhood heart surgery to dominating in 4 different countries, all those international records, the billion-dollar brand, and his sheer biological defiance of aging. Will we ever, and I mean ever, see another athlete match this exact level of sustained dominance across so many decades? It's a remarkably high bar, honestly. Perhaps the highest ever set. Thanks so much for joining me to explore the data and the history behind the phenomenon. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you next time.